I am live.
Okay, you are.
It's my party and I cry if I want to. Hey, Nikki. Good to see you. So welcome. I at least got one person in here to say welcome to. But welcome to the Rated M show. And you have me, all of me tonight, which means our show will be sane. But it's actually me and going to be all ladies tonight. So not the fellas can't express their opinion. You just have to do so in the comments. And so there's a question I want to pose, and I want to hear from all women tonight. And then next week, Dre will pose the same question to guys, and then we'll kind of come together in 2 weeks. And it's an interesting topic, and I'm really curious to see like what people have to say. So if you pop in, just put something in the comments so I know who you are and that you're here. So I'm gonna give it a few more minutes and let some more people come in. Then in the meantime, I've got a list of some stuff I want to go over. Keep us on track. Uh-oh. Sorry. Babies are going to bed. Okay, so I see 3 people. Who came in? If you are here, you don't have to be shy. You don't have to be shy. I'm trying to figure out, is the glare on my glasses like way too distracting? Hopefully not. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Blue. Brittany, long time no see. Sorry if y'all hear screaming in the background. So where are we at? 8:03. Let's get started. And people can just join at hop in. So the question on the table tonight is, can a spouse, hey Ashley girl. Well, I see Ashley and then I see Hennessy. So Ashley and Hennessy, Ashley or Hennessy, what's up? Hi Darius. So the question on the table is, can a spouse have a platonic friend of the opposite sex? Why or why not? And I feel like this is not controversial, but I feel like some people can get really, really riled up. We friends, I said hi. I feel like some people can get really, really riled up about this, either from past experiences or current experiences, whatever. And so I really want to like dive into it and get your opinions. And the ladies that I have on here so far are in some different stages of life. So I want to hear from your perspective what this is. And guys, feel free to make a comment. I won't be inviting you on, but make a comment. And then I'll be calling. I don't want to say calling on y'all like I'm a teacher. That's not what this is. But then I'm gonna invite you to come in and share your experience. And so let me ask it again, because we've got a few more people. Can a spouse have a platonic friend of the opposite sex? Why or why not? Boom, boom, boom. I'll kind of start off. Is it possible? I think the answer is yes. Almost anything is possible. But I think that this can be a slippery slope depending upon your relationship, depending upon what your views are, past experiences, etc. I think that having a friend is a good thing, especially having a friend of the opposite sex, because sometimes it's someone to bounce ideas off of. Men and women think very differently. We're wired super, super different. So the way that I see something is not the way that my husband sees it, and vice versa. And we talk about that a lot. Like the things that are important to us as women are not always of high importance or top priority for men. And so I think it can be beneficial to have a friend who is of the opposite sex. But then I think that when we're married or in a committed relationship, having a friend of the opposite sex, and let's say when I say friend, I mean someone who is in your inner circle, almost or probably is called like best friend or one of my best friends. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of level of friend I'm talking about. I don't mean just like, oh yeah, you know, he's my coworker, whatever. That's not what I mean. I'm talking like somebody who maybe y'all text close to every day, or you're on the phone or whatever, but this is someone who you are in a continual communication with and you have a developed relationship. If you're a woman, can you have a strictly platonic relationship with a man? That's not your husband, obviously. And vice versa. If you're a man, can you have a strictly platonic relationship with a woman? No strings attached. It's not like underlying feelings. And so I have a list of questions here that I kind of want to get to. And so give me a couple seconds. I'm gonna invite some people on, and I'm going to invite some people, and I just want to hear your experiences. I want to hear, like, if you're married, what's your stance on that in your relationship right now? I want to hear if you are single, what have you dealt with anything like that before, or are you the friend? Are you the friend of the person that's married? So I sent some invites out. Please check your why can't I think of it? Check your messenger. All right. And so some of the comments here, let's go through. Ashley says, it's that best friend language I'm not super comfortable with. Okay. Okay. The word best friend is tricky. Okay. Nikki says she thinks it's possible, right? Just like anything is possible, right? So I'll say, like, for my relationship, I don't think that there have been people where we said, oh, you can't be friends with that person anymore. We haven't had, I think we've had like one instance so many years ago where it kind of felt like one person who was a friend of mine was kind of just saying some weird things and kind of overstepping and not being blatant about being disrespectful to my marriage, but some of the language was really like shaky. So I kind of had to like not cut that person off completely, but really, really kind of limit the communication, because I think whether if you're a guy or not, if you say something that's kind of off and weird about my spouse, we're already kind of in a weird place. And so guys, go into your inboxes and then click the link and join us. And so I have a list of questions here that I kind of want to talk about and kind of fuel the communication, so to speak. And so one of my questions is the friend, the friend, we'll call him the friend. That's our person for tonight. The friend. It's male, it's female, androgynous, whatever. Does that friend become a friend of the couple? Or does he stay just the one spouse's friend? How does that dynamic work? Okay, Nikki says, I have truly platonic male friends. And then Ashley said, I think it's based on each person's personality. If you're an outgoing, friendly person, it could work. If you're super personal, not so much. Okay. I want you to explain. Could you explain that a little bit, Ashley? I did send you a thingy, but just kind of give me some feedback, like on that, please. Okay, and then Zena, I just sent you, another invite. Nikki said, but yeah, my male friends are now my husband's friends too. So does that mean that your friend that's now you and your husband's friend is the communication and the relationship now with the both of y'all? Or sometimes it's with your husband and you, but it's still mostly with you? Like that male friend that you're talking about, Nikki, is it if it were with a woman and like now you have so you're friends with a girl, right? Let's pretend it's not a guy. You're friends with a girl, now you get married, and so it's still your friend, but she's still kind of a friend of both of y'all. Is it the same way with the guy? Is he both of y'all's friends? Zena says, I don't think it's necessary to become best buddies with the other mate, but remain respectful at all times. Absolutely. Blue says, oh, hey, Ashley.
Hey, girl.
Hey. I was like, what's that moving down there?
It said I was backstage. I was like, oh, that's different. I'm backstage.
I didn't accept you as quickly as Dre does. He's the master at this.
It's cool. It's cool.
So, talk to me about your comment. I think it's based on each person's personality. If you're an outgoing, friendly person, it could work. But if you're super personal, not so much.
So I think and so what made me say that is because Nikki said she has strictly platonic friends.
Okay.
And I know Nikki to be an outgoing, friendly person. I believe that Nikki could make friends with anybody. And that's just who her personality is. So I truly believe that she can make platonic relationships of the opposite sex work.
Okay.
I, on the other hand, I have a very close-knit circle of friends. So to call somebody my best friend, I'm sharing very intimate details of my life with a best friend.
Okay.
I can't see doing that with somebody of the opposite sex when I have a husband at home. Because if I'm sharing things with another man, maybe potentially about my man, that's just not fair. That's not fair.
Do you say it? Go ahead, finish your point.
Well, and I was saying, I don't want to speak for my husband because he's not on here to defend himself. But
I saw him earlier.
Yeah, he's on. Yeah, but he can't come on live. He can only type. So I would say, for him, to me, he has a close circle of friends. Okay. It's not like he has this huge, just always, hanging out with all these people. To me, he is a very personal person. So to say that you have a best friend of the opposite sex, I don't know.
That's why you said the best friend part that gets me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So do you say that you couldn't have a best friend that's a male because you're sharing intimate details potentially about your husband, and then you could be sharing those details to another guy? Do you say that you couldn't do that out of respect for your husband? Yes, but then it's if the tables were turned, how would you feel about that?
What do you mean by the tables turned?
If he had a best friend that was a woman.
Mm-mm.
He said no. Hold on one second. Let me. Hold on. I got worried my camera was a little.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe that's a little bit better.
Yeah.
I said if he had a best friend that's a woman, you said, mm-mm,
I can't. I
mm-mm.
just, I don't think so. I don't think so because I want to be that woman that gets all of the details. And I don't need another woman to get all of, his intimate thoughts and things. And I heard you asking the question, if there is a friend, do they become a friend of the
Of the couple,
couple?
right?
I think that if it was a friend before the couple was a couple, before they were dating, before they were married, I think it's still like that person's friend. And it
Okay,
would be hard for that outside friend to be like truly a middle objective third party person.
okay.
Like if things go down, they're gonna side with their friend. That's what I
Mm,
think.
that's interesting. That's interesting. Hey, Nikki, Miss Boss
Hey
Lady
y'all,
Nikki.
how
Hey
are
girl.
y'all?
Dre in the
Good.
back. Oh no.
What'd you say?
Dre in the back, in the kitchen. Tumba. Oh no.
Don't do that. Tell him don't do me.
Right.
Mm-mm.
I
Nope.
I think I'm a hypocrite in this way. Um, I am. I'm first to admit it. I am a hypocrite in this way. I have a lot of male friends that are just friends, that have become Andrell's friends,
Okay.
and I'm cool with the majority of his female friends if they are married.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Explain that. Okay. No, no, no. Before you explain, your male friends who are strictly male friends, are they all married?
Most of them. I have one that is not.
I would like my comment to be acknowledged.
I'm not. I will acknowledge your comment. Just a minute. Go away.
Thank you. Hello, ladies.
Hey,
Go to the other room.
Stop it.
I was putting the babies away. I'm back now.
So all of your male friends are not married,
I have one that's not married.
but you would want Andrell's female friends to be married.
Every single one of them.
Okay, talk to me about that one, ma'am.
And like in real life married, not like their husband is married and they not married, but like they
Ooh,
like
so that went petty. That's fine.
Right.
I'm just saying that kind of went petty, but that's fine.
I'm just saying. Because
Um,
here's the thing.
I
I
don't even know
think
if it's fine. Actually, I don't know. But,
and
but please
here's why
talk to
though.
me about that.
Because the majority of his female friends knew him in high school when he was Dre, like, and they don't always recognize that there's a shift. He is Andrell now, and Andrell comes with somebody named Nikki, who's a little unhinged at times. So I think for the female friends that he has, like I'm cool with a lot of my female friends are people that he knew, but they came together. Like I'm not kicking it with their husbands or anything like that. Like we not like me and Ashley are super close, right?
Hmm.
I'm not kicking it with Hennessy, but they're married.
But
And
Hennessy wasn't your friend, was
right,
he?
but that's no, Hennessy wasn't my friend, but that's what I'm saying. Me and Ashley are friends. And if Hennessy called me like, hey, I need you to help me plan something for Ashley, like that's cool. But I'm not calling Hennessy up like, hey, what you doing this weekend? Like, what are we talking about? Like, what's happening right now? So I think that's a little weird. But I also consider Hennessy is like my homeboy. Like I had a handful of people who could come in my house, and Hennessy knew he could come in my house whenever he got ready, but
Mhm.
not like without Ashley. Like I think it'd be weird if I was home and he just showed up. The same way with Andrell. Andrell ain't going over Ashley's house to have to drop something off. But Andrell and Andrell and Ashley are cool.
Right.
Now, if Ashley
So,
didn't have a Hennessy and her and Andrea was friends when Andrea was Dre trying to catch the ladies, we would have to have a different conversation about like why you and Ashley still friends. Like I don't understand the need for that relationship to continue. What y'all talking about?
I have a question. It's not in my note, but I have a question. We're going off script. So getting crazy. So you said something and it makes me think. So, and maybe this question is 2 or 3 parts. Does this mean that the opposite sex friend has to come with the man or the person, like they had to be their friend before y'all were a thing? Is that that's what that means? That's what we're saying?
Oh yeah, ain't no team new friends. You're not meeting no chick and y'all just kicking the exchange numbers and they all girls. What?
Absolutely.
Oh gosh.
What are we saying right now?
New friends.
Right.
Hold on. Zena says, I don't believe that the consensus has been that they can't have nothing, as you say. I think it's important for women who are married, who are friends with a married man, respect boundaries. I think she was responding to another comment. Hashtag team no new friends. I really like that.
Right.
Hashtag team no new friends.
Right. Right. New friends got to come as a pair, as a married couple.
Right. Okay. Do you hear me?
Yes.
So, okay. All right. So we'll
y'all team package new friends. That's what it is.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I saw something in the comments like it comes down to trust. And one of the gentlemen in the comments said something about like let me kind of read up so that I don't mistake what he said. Okay. I don't want to
somebody said something about insecurities or being insecure.
Yes, the insecurities, but that was, I think it was a like a secondary comment to his first one. So I just don't want to assume that I automatically know what he's saying. And so the word trust came up. And so that kind of ties into one of my questions where if it's an issue, does it ultimately come down to like just trusting your spouse? Maybe in the term of hashtag team new friends. Or if there's a problem in the relationship of, okay, Ashley, Hennessy as a friend, he knew from high school, you know. See the face. See the face. Hennessy has a friend that he knew from high school, right? Mm-hmm. But you know, and they cool, they do whatever. Does it ultimately come down to just trusting your husband?
No.
Actively not trust this other woman?
No, neither of those. I trust him and I trust other people. I don't trust situations though. Because if you open yourself up to, I think, a vulnerable situation, everything can be all good. But in a split second, you could be falling out with your spouse over something very little. And you could choose to call that best friend and the situation is vulnerable. It ain't got nothing to do with one person or the other. Insecurities, trust, it has nothing to do with that. But when the situation is vulnerable and there is a tiny air of space for opportunity.
Okay.
That's what I don't trust.
So let me play devil's advocate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So just in the way that most times a same-sex best friend would encourage you, nah, like you were wrong in this situation, he was wrong in this, but y'all need to kind of come together. Wouldn't the same thing be possible for someone who is an opposite sex best friend?
Possibly. Still goes back to, and it may be, again, if that opposite sex best friend is married and has somebody else to go home to, like they strictly giving you information, the advice you're getting maybe is coming from the couple, not from, just that one friend. But I don't know.
So Talk to me about like your friends, your male friends, right? And you and Andrell first getting married, or a new couple, whether it was before or after marriage. Talk to me about like what that dynamic was like. Was there an issue, or was it because they were married it wasn't an issue? And also the ones that are married, what's your relationship like with their wife?
I have a lot of, before I met Andrell, I had a lot of male friends, like just homeboys. That's just me though.
Okay.
And there was never anything to it ever. But when and a lot of them were single before me and Andrell got married. But I also made sure that when me and Andrell started to get serious, like for real, I was like, okay, let me explain. These people are non-negotiables. Like this is where I know them from, whether it be, Dana's on here. I've known Dana my whole life. He was very single when me and Andrell met. There's never been anything between me and Dana. He's like an uncle to my kids. He wasn't going nowhere. But he also made the effort to get to know Andrell and also allowed there to be space so that it wasn't like he was at my house. Because before, he was at my house every weekend. We would eat. I would cook dinner for him because he didn't know how to cook at the time. So he wouldn't eat unless I fed him. So he would come over to my house for dinner, have dinner with me and my daughter. But at the same time, when that happened, when we got married, he was like, all right, Dre, hey, Nikki invited me over for dinner. I'll be over there at XYZ time. But then since Dana's gotten married, and it's been, so now there's a package deal that comes along with that. And Dana and Andrell are actually probably now closer than me and him.
Okay.
But Andrell also had female friends that he was like, man, this is my homegirl. And I don't know if they watching or whatever, but
I don't know if they're watching or whatever.
There had to be a breakup because they did not respect the boundaries of what it meant to be married. They had never been married, and they were used to seeing him one way and did not understand that Superman that was there for y'all like that before he got married now has a Lois Lane. We can't do that no more.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we had to break up. They had to break up. It was this is not going to continue. It can't occur. It
so
just
did
cannot.
The reason that Andrell's female friends, the reason that they had to ceasefire was because they didn't respect the boundary. And what was the boundary?
That now he was a man it started when we were in a relationship. So I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, had they respected the fact that now there's another leading lady in his life and it's not y'all, like, now you can't drive his car. What are we doing?
Oh,
now
okay.
You can't ask him for no money. Now he's not coming to pick you up, you and your kid, to take you to get nothing. Nathaniel, no, we good. There's nothing for y'all to. So those boundaries of what it meant that now he had other responsibilities were not being respected. So it wasn't that I was insecure. I'm trying to save lives in these streets. So I don't want I don't want there to be any misunderstanding.
Can we back up?
He can ask for money, but she can have Old Country Buffet every day for him. But Andrell can't hand out nobody $1.
So the whole thing about this, it was supposed to be me.
It's supposed to be just the ladies tonight, sir.
Well, where are the men? In the comments. Your week is next week.
Right.
He really did just bust in the room.
But it wasn't it's not an insecurity thing. I wasn't insecure about our relationship, but I also think, like Ashley said, it's that if you don't respect the fact that we're in a relationship, then when he does have an issue and might be like, man, Nikki, get on my nerves today, it's gonna be like, yeah, right. Oh, because this perspective of having a spouse is not there. If Andrell were to say that to Ashley, she would listen and be like, okay, but when you're married, these particular things, like, let's talk through that from a married woman's perspective. He calls other women all the time that are married to get a perspective if me and him are having beef, so that he can understand what a wife needs, not what a girlfriend needs or a side piece. That's not what we're doing.
Okay. And so your friends, I'm not harping, I'm just trying to
No,
pick
you're
apart.
fine.
So your friends, was there ever an issue when it came to respecting boundaries?
No, because even when we got married, we had a wedding of almost 200 people because our parents was acting crazy. We pared it back to only, hey, we're only going to have 90 people at this wedding and we're going to get married in my mother's living room. We said there would be no exes.
There would be
Like
no
there would be no ex-girlfriend, boyfriends. Even if y'all was friends, there would be none invited to the wedding.
So the invited before?
Huh?
There was some exes invited before?
Yeah, because we're friends. I'm friends with a bunch of my exes, but not like
Nikki friend. That's that Nikki's like outgoing, friendly personality. I understand that for her. That's not the case for me.
Nikki, you got
I mean, some people are really like bothered by it, but like I am best like really close friends with one of my exes, and his wife is the goddaughter of my child. Like, and we real cool, but we also understand that might make other people uncomfortable. So me and him, he's not over here like just chilling on my couch. Like that ain't what's happening. But if they come over, they come over together.
Sorry, there's a little shock on my face right now. I'm sorry. There's a little shock on my face right now. It's just it's a level of relationship I've never seen. And the friendship, I commend you. I commend you. I do, because not everybody can be that cordial to where your ex's wife is the godmother to your child. That's not a thing anywhere.
Not a thing anywhere. Nowhere.
You got superpowers.
They were both my really good friends though. So but to that, like before they got married, me and her talked. Like she was like, "Man, you okay with this?" I'm like, "Girl, bye. That was so 1998. Go. You like them, you got them.
Have fun." I'm only dealing with them. Okay. So I have another question. So kind of like I think it bounces off of something what I said before. Dre and I were talking about this, and when it comes to, like you said about Andrea, similar, having someone to bounce things off of, having let's say in my case, a male perspective, if Dre is feeling some kind of way or whatever, and I don't fully understand, having a male perspective and say, "Hey, I don't really know what I did. This is what happened." And he can say, guys really don't take it like that. Guys see it as XYZ. And that helps me to understand, oh, I kind of messed up. My bad. So can in the sense of just understanding, can a opposite sex best friend be a good thing? I think I know Ashley's stance, because of her lips right now. Secondly, I think it was touched on a little bit earlier about not divulging that information to someone who's of the opposite sex, because it can create a circumstance that's not good. Based on your lips,
Ashley said, "Heck no."
Based on your lips, Hennessy said, "I had a single female best friend before we got married. I reluctantly disconnected from her when we got married."
Oh, reluctantly? What?
Did you know this, Ashley?
I knew there was a friend. Okay, so here's how he was like, "Oh, best friend. I never saw the girl, never talked to the girl. And I mean, like, she was a figment of imagination, in my opinion." I'm like, what are we hanging on to here? I don't even know her. I've never even, is she real life? Okay. That was my thing. If she's a friend, but is she a best friend? I mean, is she a best friend? Like, y'all just gonna go hang out and kick it still? I ain't never even seen the chick.
We, Mr. Snuffleupagus friend.
Your best friend, if she's your best friend, and you have found someone that you are going to spend the rest of your life with, would it not be a priority to say, I really want you to meet her? Or you say to the friend, I really want you to meet this new woman that I've met.
Right.
I had some platonic friends. I mean, they were not best friends, but I had some platonic friends before Hennessy and I started dating. It wasn't enough to be like, oh, I want you to meet Hennessy. It wasn't that serious. And it was easy to be like, all right, I got a leading man now.
Zena said, how long were they dating before she never met her? I'm interested to know. That's why I asked.
Who, Hennessy and I, how long were we dating?
Yeah.
I never met her.
So how long were y'all together before y'all got married?
We dated for a year before we got engaged. And we were engaged for 6 months, 6 or 7 months.
So like 18 months.
Yeah.
And you never met her. Okay.
I never met her. And I joked with him. I mean, is she really your best friend? I ain't never met her. But, in my opinion, if she was true to the heart, this is my sister, I need you to know her, I would hope that he would have, pushed back and be like, no, for real. For real. I need you to meet her. There was never that.
Okay. So, I would say if she was important, she would at least got an invite out to lunch or something. But
exactly. She's irrelevant. I mean, she might be a very nice girl. I believe she's probably wonderful. But I mean, hey, moving on.
I don't know.
Am I frozen? Is she frozen?
I think she's frozen. Zena said it could have been by phone, video, or whatever.
Whatever. I mean, phone. Exactly.
These days, it could have been by Zoom. You could have Zoom called her.
Hey, all of that.
Okay, wait. Okay, now we're back. All of us at some point had frozen. Can you backtrack what you said a little bit, please?
Oh, Nikki was saying that it could. Oh, we were just commenting on what Zena said. It could have been phone. It could have been video conference, something, a dinner, something.
If she was important to you,
and she was that important. Again, I feel like when I would say to him, I mean, is she really your best friend? I felt like I was joking. And if it was a reluctant let go of this, then, I hate to make anybody regret anything, but I don't know.
So do you feel like, and this is for anybody, not just Ashley and Nikki. And then I'll say it again. I did send invites to all the ladies on here, so feel free to join us. Not that the men aren't valuable. Your turn is just next week, not this time. Somebody tell my husband. Do we feel like it's just a trust thing then? If you would trust me, nothing's gonna happen. You know what I mean? If your husband has a female best friend, and let's say she did kind of put a move on him, do you trust him to shut that down?
So my opinion, and this may just be me.
Hennessy is petty. I do want to say that though.
Invite her to the wedding. He wasn't gonna invite her to the wedding.
Hennessy, that you weren't gonna do.
Not at all. Okay. There made the list where I was like, okay, I guess, but whatever. But yeah. So what was the question? I'm sorry, I lost my track on that comment.
That's okay. The question is, does it come down just to a matter of trust? If your husband does have a female best friend, right, and she shoots her shot, Do you trust him to just shut it down? Not saying do you trust your husband, just I would say like just in general. I'm not saying do you trust Hennessy, but just in general, like is it like, all right, like I'm cool with him having female best friends because I trust him. I trust that he won't XYZ.
So without like giving too much detail, my impression of this best friend relationship was that it was like almost best friend by default, because it couldn't have been anything else out of respect for another friend. That was my impression of this best friend. So maybe at some point there was a physical attraction, maybe when they first met each other or whatever the case may have been. Now, did that develop into strictly a platonic relationship? I believe it did. But of course, any new woman, me getting to know my husband, I'm new in this relationship. And then you just, float out there, you got a best friend and give me the backstory. In my mind, I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's really best friend. And again, if it really was like, this is my sister homegirl, then there would have been, I think, a concerted effort to like, okay, let's meet. I want y'all to be friends, all this kind of stuff. But it was almost like, okay, this is my best friend, but she's over here. I met other friends, high school friends, and it was no issue. But this one, I never met. So I don't know. Up front, would I say it's trust issue? But this one, it may have just been a little bit of, you just getting to know a new man. You don't want to have to compete with another woman.
So is this statement true? Is this question true? Are opposite sex best friends just waiting in the wings for their chance?
I don't think so. I don't think that. I agree with Brittany's comment right here on the screen. I think that it is more of women's view of a move being and something being inappropriate is very different from men. So I do think that you can have a you can have a situationship happen, and sometimes, and I'm not saying men are dumb, but they don't always have the same radar that we do, because we're women, right? Just like men might not always see that a man has intentions for us because we're not men. Men might see it better than we do. So I think to avoid, I think like she said, like prevention is key. Like we're not trying to be, reactionary. I would prefer to let's just get this in the ahead of time so that you're not even in that situation. Andrella's been plenty of situations where I'm like, she like you. And he like, no, she don't. No, she don't. And then later on, it's like, oh man, babe, like she was sending me. I know. Because I'm
right.
I'm watching her.
I see.
Right.
He said, I can't believe y'all saying this in public. Zena.
Yes.
Let me get some of your thoughts.
So my personal thought is that I believe that a man and a woman can have a platonic relationship. I have men who I have platonic relationships, some of which are married, some are not. My husband is not a friendly type of person. So so he doesn't, he does not have female friends like that. My thing is, I think is really something of where did that relationship start? Going back to what you said about are they waiting in the wings? Is this somebody who, like you said, really wanted to talk to him, but that didn't work out because he was always with somebody else? So therefore, she was always just waiting till she got her shot. Or is this somebody who generally is a real friend? And like we said, when you go to your friend and you talk to your friend about your relationship, if you need that woman advice, if you need that man advice, they're not encouraging you to do anything that is against your marriage vows. That person is encouraging you to do things like, nope, you need to talk to your wife. No, this is really serious, and even if they're not married and they're like, I really don't fully understand, but I know that y'all need to communicate better. Whatever it is, I think that that's where the issue lies. And like we were saying, like sometimes women can pick up on things. I've had to tell my husband, even with a friend that was supposed to be gay. I said if she had the opportunity, she would do something with you. He's like, no, I don't think so. I just look at her like one of the guys. No. Like you said, I listen, I see. But I think men don't just pick up on those things like that. And we want to try to prevent you from being in that situation so you don't have to make those hard decisions later on. But I mean, sometimes men just take it as we're just taking everything away from them. No, if they're your friend, and your friend is going to understand.
And I don't know what that's about. Like, why taking everything away from you?
But that's the way they feel. Like we can't.
Really, just about like, I think keep establishing the boundary.
Yeah. And I think for me personally, the honest to God truth is I feel the same way about male friends. There are certain male friends that my husband has that I don't really care for because I don't feel like they respect or believe in the sanctity of marriage. So if a situation presented itself, they wouldn't necessarily say to him, no, don't do that. I know you're mad at your wife right now, but don't do that. Don't do that. I don't care for them neither. And I make that very well known. So for me, it goes both ways.
So, if there's a woman in Larry's life, your husband's life, my bad.
Mm-hmm. You were right.
No. I ain't trying to put your husband out there. Never know who watching. Okay. If there's a woman in his life, like a friend, and let's say y'all don't get along or whatever, is your expectation that he cut off that relationship? And this isn't just Zena's question, but I'm posing it to our group. Do you feel like,
do y'all see these men's comments?
I do see them. I see them. And I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. But do you feel like you have the, I don't want to say authority, but do you have the something to kind of say like you really need to cut that relationship off? And should they?
I feel like that if something happens that you feel disrespected in any way as his wife, you are the one that comes first. So therefore, if a decision needs to be made, then snip to whoever that woman is. I mean, that's just the same way I would do for a man. If you came to me and you felt a certain kind of way because a man approached the situation disrespectfully and that's supposed to be my friend, then that means you don't respect my marriage. So therefore, it's nothing for me to cut you off.
Okay.
And I think it comes down to, like you were saying, Zena, you expressing where you're uncomfortable with your spouse. Like your friend made me uncomfortable. I don't like it. And how your spouse deals with that, like it shouldn't even come down to the friend. The way your spouse deals with that, let's say your spouse does not cut that friend off. So then that makes you feel a certain kind of way. Like, okay, you're going to choose to stay in that over me. Okay, I'm going to check myself. I'm going to think about this whole situation. I'm not going to have to think about it because I'm not going to be in this situation. But I'm going to check it. I'm going to check myself. But it's how my spouse would deal with that. That would determine how I ultimately feel about it.
Right.
And you're right. Somebody can't come in and disrespect your marriage.
So it's really the spouse's responsibility, the person whose friend it is, to
check them.
Thank you.
But if you don't,
rest assured.
I'm raising my hand. Call on me. Call on me. I got it.
To speak? Oh, Nikki.
I got it. Call on me.
Nikki.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And it's not control. It is prevention. Somebody said, is it control? It's not control. It is helping you see, giving the bird's eye view to what's going on.
Yeah. One second. This is a lengthy comment. Wanting to control your king in order to never allow them to be in situations that allow them to be the alpha males that they are
Niggas have to do with being around another woman.
trust their decisions, making skills, competency, loyalty, and then you indirectly communicate that to the man that you don't trust him out of his leadership. Now, what do you think that does for the relationship and your bond?
No.
Nothing. Me and my
That's
husband are just
Nothing.
fine.
Zero. It keeps everybody alive and safe.
Yeah. Because I think when you hear
Right, Nikki. Right.
No, because people
I
forgot
think when you
that
hear
niggas out here saving lives.
right, and when you listen to men of God, preachers, or whatever that are married, a lot of them will say, "Don't put yourself in a situation to be set up." That's just common sense to me. That's just common sense.
Mhm.
Like, why are you feeling like you can just be in any situation with any woman, out having lunch, out having dinner, and feel like you're gonna have complete control over that when we know where the brain is? I mean, let's just be honest about that. We know where the brain is for the man. So just don't even put yourself in that situation to be vulnerable.
So that kind of leads into one of my next questions.
You don't
So
have to vote. Okay.
me and
for a little
me
bit.
and
Take 'em back down
my
to 10
male
more minutes.
friend can go out to eat. Is that not good for the spouse and the opposite sex best friend to go grab some lunch, go grab some coffee? Hey, run to the store with me real quick.
Well, you know where I stand on it. Nikki can probably do it. I can't.
I think Nikki is in probably the more unique situation than
No, I
Yeah.
don't. But you know what? No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't. The guy that I'm talking about, that's my ex, that we're really good friends. We don't go out together, just me and him.
Mm.
I neither one of us, and we've never had this conversation explicitly, but we
Okay.
know what that can feel like to our spouses. So we never put ourselves in a situation where it is just me and him. If he's coming over here to see the kids, and Andrell's not home, he'll be like, what's up, girl? But he spends most of his time with my children. I'm not sitting at the table with him saying, hey, let's go out to lunch. Now, if we're going out to lunch, it is because we're planning something for his wife. And Andrell is fully aware and invited.
Mhm.
Andrell not about to be sitting up at a table with some broad that he's talking about, this is my homegirl, and we out having dinners together. And especially if this is your home, what we doing? And I wasn't invited. I don't know anything about it. I mean, I don't know that I would be okay. I don't know that anybody in the restaurant would be safe. I don't feel like that. To me, that and it's not about
hashtag saving lives.
but why
Yeah.
y'all out at lunch?
Yeah.
Like, what we doing?
Yeah.
I couldn't come. This better
Right.
be a surprise for me, right? That's what y'all doing. Let me see.
One
Right.
common thing that I see in the comments from the men is the word control. That we want to control their relationships. And so one thing next week I'm very interested to hear is, if I have a male best friend, let's say, and we can use this specifically, I have a male best friend if I had a male best friend who I met before Dre, can we continue our relationship, just he and I? And then if Dre's uncomfortable with that, is that about control? But I don't feel he's crossed any boundaries or been disrespectful to me and Dre's relationship.
Right.
Because I feel like, on this side, we're kind of asking the same question.
Mhm.
And the women have said, like, if you are being disrespectful and crossing boundaries, please go. Like, he literally just sit in the room.
Comments, sir. Comments.
My comment is not being acknowledged.
Because I'm speaking. But anyway,
You don't acknowledge none of the men's comments.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
all the men's comments are being
all
acknowledged.
y'all can't
But what
comment
I'm
right
saying,
now you gonna talk over.
Is this control, Dre? Are you trying to control your wife, Dre?
trying to control the situation right now.
I'm sorry, boss. I forgot. I don't have a
I
voice.
feel like you trying to control the situation.
Here goes his comment. Just
I
admit
feel
it.
like you trying to control
You
your
did.
wife.
Blue said, y'all must not know what control means.
Siobhan, I
think it's
think
control.
Yeah, Siobhan, I think you're right. It's going to be interesting to see what their feedback is. Same way we said, you know, sometimes men are able to see things that we're not able to see. So if your wife had a male friend and you saw that he was just waiting in the wings and you mentioned it to her and she's just like, no, he's not. And she's still going out and doing all these things with her. How would that make you feel as a man? And I mean, regardless, that's it, because they always think we're overreacting and, you know, you're looking too far into it and, you know, all of those kinds of things. So I just wonder from their perspective, is that really okay? Is it okay for, you know, your mom to call you and say, hey, I saw, you know, Zena out with some man at lunch today. I don't know what they were doing. I mean, you know, perception is a lot. And I think sometimes men don't look at it like that.
No, because I feel like sometimes like we can see the whole picture sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't always see it that way, but I don't think it has anything to do with control. I don't think not a wife on this screen or in this comment or whatever sits at night and thinks about how can I control my husband.
Yeah.
I don't have capacity
Who
to
has
do
that kind of time?
Who has that kind of time?
Yeah.
And I
think which one of his friends can I start beef with so he can cut off?
right.
That kind of time.
And at the end of the day, you know, and the guys have said it, and I agree. If he's gonna cheat, he's gonna cheat. Whether it's gonna be a friend that you know, whether it's gonna be somebody you don't know, whether it's, you know, if he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. There's nothing that you can do about that. But I just think we all do things not to put ourselves in certain situations, and I think that's just the bottom line of it.
Exactly.
They said women have the time.
Women have
We
that
don't.
I don't. I
We
don't.
don't. We busy doing other things like managing the house, remembering what size clothes the kids wear, grocery shopping, cooking, telling you where your wallet is and your keys 15 times a day, working a full-time job. Stop it, sir. But that's a whole other topic.
That's a whole nother topic.
And somebody said there was a comment, something about letting the man step into his alpha role.
Oh, this is interesting right here.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. No. Okay. We're gonna come back to that. But what I was gonna say is that somebody made the comment about letting a man step into his alpha role. I believe that if a man has a best friend that is truly his homegirl sister, and his new boo, girlfriend, wife is not comfortable with that situation, in his alpha-ness, he will make everybody comfortable. The man sets the tone. So if
he'll make everybody comfortable. I like that.
Yeah, if this is his homegirl and this is the woman I know I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with, he will do whatever it takes to make sure that relationship, all the relationships are intact. So that's stepping into your alpha role. If you really want to, you know, talk about it, take control of the whole
have that conversation. Okay.
Like, baby, this is what we're gonna do. This is the role that this woman has served in my life, and this is the role that I know you're gonna serve in my life.
Absolutely.
So this is what I see is gonna make me the greatest man ever. I mean, however he wants to manipulate the situation, step into that alpha role and take control of that situation.
Yeah. I think the key is a real alpha male. Everybody wants to be an alpha male, but they're not. And that's what they get confused in, because they can't handle themselves in those situations. So
I just bypassed that comment. I saw it.
Yes. Skip over that. Yeah.
And I think going back to that comment about women being manipulative, if that's true, let's go with your theory being true. Who said that? Was it Darius? But whoever said that? That women are manipulative. If that's true, then we are protecting you from our own kind. Then go with that then. If you're saying that women are manipulative, and let's go with that. Let's say women are manipulative. Okay, cool. Then if we're women, then that means we can see that manipulation before you can. Because we are one of them. If you want to go with that, then look at it like we got your six. We're protecting you. We can see things that you can't see. That's even spiritual, right? We have your six. in the spirit realm, that is our job. It's to protect you from things seen and unseen. So sometimes when you're too close to a situation, you can't see it, but we can because we don't have the same lens as you. So we're protecting you from the manipulation of women. Then go with that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to hear next week the men say, I don't care if my wife has a best friend that's a guy. They can go out to dinner. They can do whatever. As long as he ain't disrespectful to me, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't feel like that's going to happen. I really don't. I really don't feel like that's going to be the case.
Right. I agree.
Or even if they do try to take that route, which is fine, once we go to the deeper level, like we've talked about, seeing those things, those behaviors, that make it appear as if that man does not want just friendship with your wife, are you still okay with that? Or is that then you controlling her because you don't want her to be friends? Because if you guys are going to say that we're controlling you, if that's what we're going to go with, if you're going to say
that's the same thing,
controlling because we see something and we're like, hey, babe, I don't know about this. And then when you do the same thing, then say, you know what, we're being controlling too. That's all I'm saying. Let's make it fair across the board. If you're going to say it for us, then say it for you as well. Because if a man gets on here next week and says that he's okay with knowing that his wife's best friend that's a male wants to be something more than just friends with her, he's lying.
Right.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
I can think of quite a few people who I'd love to see on here next week. But
yes, I am going to be tuned all the way in.
I cannot wait until next week.
But I'm not going to say anything. Yeah, so I think that pretty much wraps up all of our questions. Oh no, it doesn't. 1 second, guys. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Monty, yes.
I'm done.
Give him a little. Give him the model. Give him the model thing. Just give me a little
I'm
bit.
good.
Give me a little bit. Thank you. See?
You're silly.
There it is. There it is. So let me hear. I saw you in the comments. So let me hear some of your thoughts.
Woo, it's a lot going on. To be honest, what was really bothering me was the whole alpha male thing.
Okay.
I definitely agree with Ashley. Is that your name? I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I agree with Ashley as far as she's saying that alpha male doesn't have anything to do with, them being the alpha male. If you really want to be an alpha male, you would listen to your wife. It's not necessarily her putting her foot down or control or anything. I really feel like it's kind of like submission. Submission doesn't necessarily mean you're being stepped on. I mean, if this is supposed to be your wife, if you, like I put in the comments, you're one when you're married. So if your wife is coming to you saying, I feel this way or I feel disrespected and blah, 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 and you like, well, I'm the alpha male, I only do what I want to do. What is that going to do for your marriage and for your relationship? So I'm not necessarily saying that, oh, the alpha male is just this prissy little thing that listens to your wife. No, an alpha male knows when to listen, knows when to make the correct decision for their marriage and for the relationship, for the situation, for whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're taking control from your wife and, just being walked all over. That's not what that means.
I agree. I like that. So like I said, I'm super interested to hear next week. Because I'm gonna be all in them comments. I just
you know me.
just really just say that I'm gonna be all in these comments, and I do want some of the men with some of the strongest comments here to come up on a screen next week.
If you can get in the comments and say it, guys, please come back next week. We really want to, because I know you guys think we don't listen. That's what I keep saying in the comments too. We're not listening. So if you really feel that strongly, whatever your stance is on it, I would really love to see you guys next week, so that I can really listen to you and see you talk about what it is, that it's not you, Darius. There's other Darius. You've been very verbal, not just the emojis and stuff like that. You've been very verbal about how you feel. And I'm good with that. Like, I can, even if I agree to disagree with some of the things that you say, because at the end of the day, I'm not married to you, so I mean, hey, right. But I can agree to disagree. I can say, okay, I understand why you feel the way you feel, and my marriage may work differently. But I cannot wait.
I can't wait. I think like kind of coming away from it, like, Quincy is funny. Coming away from it, like, everybody's marriage isn't the same. Right. So maybe more like Nikki, like she has male friends who she's known for a long time. And those are her friends. She's friendly with their wives, etc. But she has a relationship with them. And then maybe the other end of the spectrum is we don't really do the opposite friend thing.
Right.
I'm his best friend. I didn't say your name. But I was kind of thinking it, but I didn't say your name. I just said opposite end of the spectrum. Ashley said that's me right here with her church finger. So, whether you're on Ashley's spectrum or kind of Nikki's or further, I don't think any answer is wrong. You have to do what best protects your marriage. If you are a person and your best friend, your ride or die is the opposite sex, and they're respectful of your husband or wife, and they do nothing but promote the fact that y'all stay together and y'all be healthy, by all means, please, by all means. However, if the person you say is ride or die, and they say, oh, well, I ain't never really liked that about her, and she always do this, and all they do is kind of nitpick, and they kind of tear down and not help you build up. I think that's a problem.
Yep.
Especially if that person.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, boo. Yeah.
Okay, I'm single. I'm not married, so I've been learning a lot about marriage, but my circle is mainly married people. And I know I hear some people say, oh, married couples can't have single friends.
So do you feel like that's true with most of your friends being married? Like, how do you kind of fit? Tell me how you fit into where you say most of your friends are married. Where do you fit? How does that work? Are you friends with both of them? Are you closer to maybe one more than the other? Is that person a male?
Actually, no. I mainly, the friends that are married are female, and I've known them for a long time. Now, am I really close with their husbands? No, I've known them for just about as I've known my female friends. Am I close to their husbands? No. Would I want to get close to them as far as like friend wise, but I would never overstep that boundary, never, because one, I will want that same respect if I was to get married, and for two, I'm just not that type of person. Like, if I see, because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of y'all were single, so I knew y'all when y'all was single. So once y'all got married, the boundary was set. So I'm not about to overstep that boundary. And like, I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. Not Ashley, the other young woman.
Ashley, Nikki, Zena, Siobhan.
Nikki. Okay. Like if one of you guys' husbands, I want to do something for so and so. Can you help me with this? That's not a problem. I don't have an issue with that. But like us going off and hanging out and stuff like that, me personally, I wouldn't feel like all the way comfortable. Not saying that I would do something or they would even do something. I just wouldn't feel all the way comfortable. So I feel like, and I actually do have a friend who is married, who is going through a lot of things, and she comes and talks to me and ask for, what do I think about the situation? But everything that always come down to it, I always said, y'all need to better communicate. Y'all should do this and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying, oh, girl, you need to leave him and he ain't no good. Like, I just feel like that's not cool at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you. There,
Your husband is cutting up in these comments.
Very
He
much
is cutting
Very
up in
Very
these
much
comments.
so.
I know.
All the way.
I know. He and I have had this conversation. We talked about this kind of extensively yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm not even really sure what today is. But we had this conversation, and I was like, I do XYZ, but I don't want to kind of spoil anything that he has for next week. I'm a kind of just leave it. I don't want to spoil any stuff.
Can they put transparency on their agenda for next week? Because I think there is transparency in all the relationships. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm nosy. Like, even when my husband is out with his homeboys, I'm like, oh, where y'all go? Y'all went to eat? And then what happened after that? And I want to know it all.
Right.
So then if it was someone of the opposite sex, then you better believe I don't even want to have to ask. I want you to be walking in the door like, oh, I talked to so-and-so today. This is what we talked about. Say this, I had to say that. I want transparency. I just want to know. I don't want to have to guess about anything.
Right.
So I left this comment up here from Danielle. She says, I don't feel a need to be close to my male friend's wife per se. He's my friend, but if it happened naturally, then so be it. Danielle, I sent you an invite to it, and I'd love to get some of your perspective, because I think that your view is a little different than than the women that we've had. Sorry, I'm just trying to hook things up so I don't get cut off. But I just want to hear your perspective, because I think your perspective is a little different than the women that we've had on here. So if you're up to joining us, please go to your messenger and follow the steps. And so I'm gonna just roll through some of these comments here.
He's talking about these aunties with uncles. I can't stand him. And Dre, you know who I'm married to. His backbone is very strong, sir.
Right.
See?
So why he called her out?
And Dre already know my business, so I mean, that's not even.
So
I
and
know,
this
auntie.
is another word. This is another word that came up.
She said,
Insecure.
I ain't no auntie.
Oh, am
Yeah,
I
we
limited to a
good.
number?
Yeah, you limited it to like 10. So like, you're gonna bring people on, you want to take some people out.
Oh, well, I'm only at 5. Okay.
I'll go
So, sorry, this is new to me. But Danielle said, I'm not in a quiet space, but ask away. Okay. So you said that you don't feel the need to get close to your male friend's wife. One, why is that? What's your relationship like with the male? Are you guys like just cool, or is he like kind of close circle best friend? And then like, have there been any issues? You know, can you just kind of give us a little bit like of an experience, which is probably a whole lot to type. Sorry. But I wanted to go through some of the comments. This is Hennessy, Ashley.
We're not.
Hennessy, stop it.
Right.
Some of Dre's comments are comical but true. But see, like, that's what I was going to. I feel like insecure came up. And it's not necessarily that I'm insecure. See, okay, look, Dana, Nikki, do you see Dana's comment?
Woman.
Talking about our lady.
Is the homeless woman an auntie? I cannot. She is not an auntie,
They
and
keep
leave her
talking.
alone.
She wasn't homeless. She just in between places right now. So don't talk about our lady from the other night. So thanks, Darius. Oh, okay. Wait, here's the deal. We are best friends. I've met his wife. She's nice. She knows we hang out, chat, go to lunch, etc., but fully trust him and I respect his marriage. Okay. So his wife is kind of like, she's your friend. She doesn't have to be mine, but I trust you. And Danielle has respected the boundary of their relationship. So there's no, maybe his wife doesn't feel the need to get to know her. What is she doing? Is she really trying to get with my man XYZ?
But he probably comes home and
But they
tells
truly
his wife-
best friends. They
Yeah,
met.
they probably communicate.
He's talked to his wife about, she is, a very important part of my life. This is my friend. I'm sure he's had that conversation with her. So that's a whole different aspect. And as long as she's respectful, the wife is probably like, okay, she's been around, she's your friend. Okay. As long as she doesn't get out of pocket, then we're good.
Right.
Which I feel like is fine. I feel like so when Dre and I first got married, yeah, I'm pretty sure when we first got married, he had a friend that he would go out to the gym with. And I was just like, oh, okay. I didn't really say anything about it. And I was just like, I don't remember exactly how it went. But I think ultimately it came up, are you comfortable with it? My honest answer was no, I'm really not. I didn't tell him to stop going.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that. I didn't say, keep going to the gym, but no, when you come home, I ain't gonna be talking to you. It wasn't even like that. I just said, honestly, if I ask myself that question, I think the answer is no. Like, I'm not really comfortable with it. And then that.
Why weren't you comfortable with the friend that he was going to the gym with?
So I think for me, it was about like the whole like sweatiness part. No, it's not. And so like I didn't know. And also this relationship between he and I, it wasn't new, but like most of our relationships.
Wait a minute, Shimon.
That's hilarious.
This whole scenario that you made up in your head. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Maybe it's just me.
Maybe
it's just me. I'm sorry. No, all I said was honestly, I didn't tell him not to do it. Did I feel threatened? I don't know. Like it never crossed my mind that she would be gunning for him. It never crossed my mind that I really think she wants my husband. That wasn't it. It was kind of like the opportunity in the space. That was the thing for me.
She didn't want him sweating next to no other woman.
Right.
With the drops glistening.
She said there would be no glistening. There would be no glistening.
And I was like,
glowing and stuff.
I was either like fat and super pregnant at the time.
With a full scuba suit
on. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So I didn't feel she was a threat to our relationship, but I was like, am I comfortable with it? I think the honest answer is no. I'm not telling you not to do it. If he had said like, babe, I understand. This is my homegirl. Like she has no whatever. Okay. It's fine until it's not fine. That was my view.
Okay.
It's fine until it's not fine. That was me. But he cut that off out of respect to me. He didn't like it. As I found out years later. He didn't like it. And so like I don't know. That was the sweat. Y'all I'm trying to, but I'm tired. I'd be tired. That's right, Dana. No gym entanglements. That's right. Yeah. And then it's like that I really felt and believed that, you don't co-mix men and women, because that's a lot of what we're taught, especially in the church, that, men only hang out with men and women only hang out with women, because you never want to, have the temptation. So maybe there was something of that in there as well. But that was just where we were. And that was my experience. And so I will be fully transparent and share another experience they are laughing at you. I don't think they're laughing at my vulnerability. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. Percentage, and what percentage of are you of each? I don't know. Okay, hold on. Dre said this is honestly sad. Well, I'm so looking forward to being enlightened next Friday.
Oh yeah.
But then the last thing I'll say is there was another instance with a male friend of mine who I had since high school. I'd known him before Dre, and he and I hung out all the time, like especially towards the end of high school and some summers coming home from college. But he and I hung out all the time. And when I met Dre, he would, I don't know. Him and Dre were cool for a little bit, and then he kind of said something that was out of pocket where I had to kind of back up and cut out a lot of the frequent communication to where it was kind of silence for a while. And I mean, since then, you know, I've seen him here and there, and then we're still very cool and whatever. He's married now, whatever. But there was a point where he did say something that was kind of out of pocket, where Dre looked at him and was like, what does he mean by that? And so what he said was, at the time he had a small child and was having a lot of issues with the mother of his child, and said something to the effect of, I wish you were his mother.
Which means he's looked at you as more than just a friend.
Exactly.
Like he was hanging out,
Yes, ma'am.
like waiting for you to choose him.
So just being fully honest and transparent, that was something where it was like, okay, this has got to, like, you know, and I was like, oh, he didn't mean it like that. He's just going through XYZ, da da da. But you know, like, I wasn't thinking at the time that Dre like was like, well, I just kind of cut out my friend basically like a couple years ago, because you didn't even want me hanging out with her, and this dude didn't come up and say he wished. That is cool. You know what I mean? Like, honestly speaking, like, well, that, you know, from his perspective, that's not cool.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, but I just wanted to kind of share that was my experience. I don't have like a huge deal, but I think like Nikki said, you know, at this point, friends come in pairs. What was it? Team what?
Team no new friends.
No new friends.
Team no new friends. Hashtag no new friends. No new friends.
And
Hashtag.
Nope. Yes. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that joined and commented, and thank you for your time and just having a good time with me. So next Friday, actually, let me invite Dre on here because he's gonna, like, he said he wants to say something. But next Friday, I'm going to see you guys when the men come on and speak. And I'm super, super excited.
Yeah.
These 7 days cannot pass fast enough. Okay.
When is the day
I
that's
need to
supposed
hurry
to
up and be Friday.
Next Friday.
So the actual day is a week from today, Friday, February 5th, 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And so, what did he say? Emasculating men and complain they have no backbone. Oh my gosh.
Who is emasculating?
Emasculating men.
It's gonna go super off topic.
Yeah,
All right. Have a good night. Down that note, Dre. Bye.
No, right.
right.
Yeah, so thank you guys. Hold on one second. Hey, Dre. He said he wants to come in and say
Okay,
something.
talk about my alpha comment. You better get
But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. I appreciate it. He here in the comments. And so if there's any other updates, we'll let you know via Facebook. But love you all very much.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.